What up, what up, what up, what up, what's your, it's your boy Pay, the digital D boy, and walking the game on. Pay plays. Today we're gonna be playing Fortnite. Um, but it's a different segment that's gonna go on tonight, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, I'm usually talking about business, dreams, goals, and all that while we get it in, but it's a major issue that's going on right now. That's a little bit, and not a little bit, but like a lot more important. You feel me? And there's the shooting that happened out Texas at the school. Unfortunately, with the kids and the teacher. And I usually don't even like get on things like this. I just let it be. But I heard the president speak on it. And then I heard the Warriors coach Steve Kerr speak on it. Steve, he didn't really like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't really like do anything to like push my buttons or anything. He just had like one red flag. But the president, on the other hand, this dude, man. Like, as I watched his, it's two things that made me cringe when it came to his statement on the subject matter. And it was when he said that need to stand up to the gun lobby. Why are we doing what needs to be done? And then it was the third thing, actually. The third thing was that he's mentioned other countries don't have these problems. You know what I'm saying? Like the massacres, the mass shootings, and all that, same difference. And I'm like, yo, really? Really? And he talked about like the duration and all that since the last one, woo woo. And I'm just like, yo, you really gonna play this game? Like, I get tired, like the news and the media and like all these big folks in the government and all that, like trying to play the game or even putting it on the government or like the what's that? The laws and all and everything like that. And speaking of which, that's what kind of had got me with Steve Kerr. That was kind of like my red flag there because he did his thing, you know what I'm saying? He spoke on it, had the whole sympathy bit, the whole nine. What threw me off with him is when he mentioned the bill, which is, you know what I'm saying, the HIH bill, the HIH gun law bill. And I'm like, really? Like, I was with you until you got there. And whether somebody on your team told you to say that, you know what I'm saying, for the press conference to make things look good or whatever, woo, woo, woo. Come on, man. Come on, man. Because it kills me like when they be trying to make it seem like the people that commit these crimes are law-abiding citizens. You feel me? Like, oh my God. So we going to speak on that, and I'm going to get to my view on it. But let's talk about that bill first. See what that and know what that consists of, so that I'm saying, like, right? Alright. HR 5717th, 116th Congress, 2019-2020. You know what I'm saying? It's been introduced. Alright. Now, this bill makes various changes to the federal framework governing sales, transfer, possessions of firearms, and ammunition. Among other things, the bill does the following. It generally requires individuals to obtain a license to purchase, acquire, or possess a firearm or ammunition. Raises the minimum age from 18 to 21 years to purchase firearms and ammunition. That reminds me, Biden spoke on that too, which he kind of contradicted himself, because he said that what does an 18-year-old need to be doing with a gun? You say that, but you just said other countries don't have the issues that we have, and they are getting guns even younger than that. So is it really your age thing? Let's move on. Establishes new background check requirements for firearm transfer between private parties. I don't really know what the current, I guess, you know what I'm saying, law goes with that. It might be like easy to bypass that, you know what I'm saying, to like go and switch it off like this person owns it, you know what I'm saying. So that might be a little thing that can't change. Require law enforcement agencies to be notified following a firearms related background check that results in denial. First and foremost, this is what I mean, man. Like, it's so cringeworthy, yo, and it's not even funny, yo. It's sad. In order to obtain your gun license, and then especially to carry and conceal, you have to get your background check through the law. And then after that, you have to go through the Fed background check. These people automatically know what's going on already. Creates a statutory process for a family or household member to petition or court for an extreme risk protection order to remove firearms from an individual who possesses a risk of committing violence. I think you're just throwing shit in there at this point. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably like another reason why this bill has like been sitting and doing whatever. You can automatically do that already. Like, that's something that's already in place. Like, you feel like an individual is not able to, I guess, mentally have a firearm. Like, there's things in place where you can call a law and they will come and, you know what I'm saying, let you know what's up and what may have to happen. And like, especially if you feel a danger that's in your household, that's already there. Restricts the manufacturer, sale, transfer, purchase, or receipt of ghost guns, i.e. guns without serial numbers. Now I can see that. If that's, I don't really think you can do that though. Like, because every time you register a gun and all that, it's trying, like, it has to have a serial number. Like, that's the serial number getting scratched off is some street shit. Like, whatever, man. Alright. Requires federally licensed gun dealers to submit an annually certified compliance with security plan to detect and deter firearm theft. That's like some business. Removes limitations on the civil liability of gun manufacturers. Once again, that's some business. Allows the Consumer Product Safety Commission to issue safety standards for firearms and firearm components. That's already, you know what? Establish a community violence intervention grant program and promotes research for firearm safety and gun violence prevention. Do you really need a law for the last two? Do you really need a law for the last two? This is America. We're able to establish things like that already, and things are like that are already in place without a law. This is the reason why the bill is probably not being passed. It's like, come on, man, some shit's common sense. That's just blow. Okay, now it's my turn. My thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Just my thoughts, my point of view, how I'm feeling at the time. Now, I'm gonna bring y'all into the dark. because obviously them shedding light on the situation doesn't help. So come with me, come with me to the dark side. You know what I'm saying, let's enter the dark. Let's enter the dark on this whole little situation. You feel me? First and foremost, like first and foremost, the people that's committing these crimes, massacres, and all that, it's a lot of things that you gotta think and put in place. You know what I'm saying? Like legally having guns, right? Again, 9 times out of 10, the guns wasn't purchased legally. And if it was purchased legally, they still went through the background check and the whole 9. Okay. And I know what you're thinking. That's what they mean, like the background check isn't good enough, like something has to be done. Listen, I'm here to tell you right now, because I don't know if you've ever tried to apply to get a gun or know people that have, but it's a few things that when it comes down to that. One, they already have it, so it's really, really hard for certain demographics to go and get them in the past. Like, you gotta be like squeaky clean in some cases when it comes to that. You feel me? And like, it's courses and everything that you gotta do from being at the range. It's certain classes that you gotta take. It depends on the state that you live in and the whole 9. But everyone gets the same background check as far as like with the state law and then the feds. Like, everyone gets that. And then it's depends on where you at. That takes like a long time to go through, like months, like damn near half a year to a whole year and over. It really just depends. And some people in some states, they can get it like within a week or 2 weeks or like 5 weeks. But actually, that's like in order to just register the firearm. To get the concealed, that takes like months. But now also, again, it depends on some states to even get your gun license. That takes like months, unfortunately. It is what it is. And when it comes to like the killings that go on in the streets though, and it involve kids, sadly, or like a massacre or somewhat, those people didn't register no guns, man. They ain't not thinking about no license and license to carry and all that, man. They been had them things, or they just what they're gonna get them things. They going to war. Anybody going to war is not gonna have that. You feel me? It's not happening. Like, so they can just cancel Christmas on keep trying to put things like that happening on the law. No, it's a couple of things that go on with that, because sometimes and a lot of times that's been like beefs that brewed up or that's been going on before some of us was born, and we just get put into it, and it just continues and continues and continues. Other thing is, it's like a whole little money situation, you know what I'm saying, or having better things for the youth to do, for other people to do, to get into, you know what I'm saying. It's like when you think about rec centers and boys and girls clubs, and a lot of them been shut down, a lot of what's going, but a lot of them cost to attend at the same time. So you think like these dudes just gonna be putting up money and doing that, or that sometimes like they parents can afford to put them in there? No. So what they doing? They running in the streets, they getting into whatever. The other thing is like when it comes to the guns that get recovered and all that, come on now, it's automatically like it's stolen or the serial number's been scratched off and all that. So again, like, yeah, don't put the street with the law and whatever like bills that's going on and never to obtain it. Now let's move forward. Again, if you haven't tried to obtain a gun license and a conceal, or you don't know anyone that has, then you're blinded to a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Because they, in the light, they want to make it seem like it's the bill, it's the law, it's the government, and all that type shit. Nah, that's not the case. The problem with, and let me help you out, Biden, since you were so big on speaking on why other countries don't really have these issues, but we do. And then on top of that, that's still ignorant, because some of those countries, man, what they go through as far as like the treatment and all that and the violence, man, it can't even compare to us. So quit it with that little fake sob story. Like, you really blew me with that, Pimpin'. You really blew me with that. Now, as I was saying though, you want to talk about why we don't have, why we have these issues and others don't. America makes it really, really, really hard to protect yourself. And with that, I can say it doesn't matter what race you is. As far as the law and legally, they really make it hard to protect yourself. And so let me really help answer the question that all of you guys be baffled about, or wondering what's going on, or like how this is happening. In America, in certain places, especially where you should or need to sometimes, some way, some form of fashion, they have it so that you cannot protect yourself. You cannot have this firearm with you at these places, within a distance of these places, in the whole nine. Now, place your mind in the mind of a criminal, or serial killer, or a new killer, right? Some of them know this, if not all. They know that legally at a school, no one but a cop can have a gun on them. Think about that. It is in writing. No one except for the law can have a gun on school premises. I'm talking about daycare, elementary, junior, high school, college, all of them. And really, like, think about it though. Think about it like when we were back in school, or if you're in school. Look at the security guards. They're not SPOs. You don't really see them with no gun, right? You don't. Only thing they got is the metal detectors, the wands, and woo and all and everything else. You do not see them with a gun, because you cannot have a gun on school premises. Period. So with that person knowing that, it is 100% chance that they're going to be able to do this without any consequences at that time. If they want to walk away, they can. Or if they already plan to off themselves, then that's what they're going to do. But they know that they can do that. And that's sad, because think about it, in the instance, in a lot of these cases, if security and the teachers had a chance to protect themselves, they not only could protect themselves, they could protect them students. You feel me? And more so in worst case, because mark my words, if this do change, unfortunately, instead of the students getting hit and you hearing about that, you would most likely start to hear the security officers got hit. Because now there's a threat that's involved and that they're aware of. And now that will also help slow things down. The same thing, it depends on where you at. You can't really even have your firearm in restaurants. Why can't you? It's because they deal with alcohol and liquor. Yeah, especially, well, at least in DC, you can't have your firearm where liquor is being sold. That's crazy, right? Like, you trusted us enough to know what to do when we have these things, but you don't trust us enough just to run to the store and not wait until we get home to, you know what I'm saying, pop our bottle. Because when there's already a law that you can't drink and drive. And if you're in a restaurant, you don't even trust that person enough to not just get a regular drink, a non-alcoholic beverage. Because again, in this environment, anything can happen. This person could decide to get mad at their date or whatever, or some dude is looking at some wrong or looking at him wrong or doing whatever. Boom, and jump off. And now, granted, he might have a strap or do whatever. Bop, 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 bop. Now, because legally we couldn't have our firearm with us, one or two things. One, we couldn't protect whoever and the other customers. And two, let's say if we did bring it in there, we still couldn't do nothing because legally we wasn't able to have it on us. How to make it make sense, man? The same thing that goes on with the government buildings and I think some churches. Like, you can't have the firearm on you. So, granted, in the government buildings though, yeah, okay. They got like the SPOs and the cops and all that, so they can do what they do, you know what I'm saying? But at things like government properties, like the parks and all that type of stuff, again, you're taking away the safety and the protection of the people because they can't have their firearms on these properties. Yeah, the people that doesn't care about the law and that legally doesn't have one, what they doing? They running around these parks or doing whatever and snatching and doing whatever. Why? Because they can, and they know 9 times out of 10 you ain't got it. And even if you got something to protect yourself, you're not even supposed to have it. So I'm still about to take this risk and this chance to get you out of there or kidnapping you or doing whatever. So until these things change, yes, Biden and future president and anyone else that's a part of the government of celebrity status that want to know why these things keep happening, what's going on, and how the law needs to change. The law does need to change, but not be more strict. It's already strict. It's strict as hell. That's why a lot of people don't even go through the process of care to. You've made it that damn hard. And it costs a lot of money. So you need to lessen some of the restrictions that you have for that we can protect ourselves and we can stand up to situations and individuals like this. Like, it's a lot of people that will probably like love to get a firearm and protect themselves and just go through the process that's not even nowhere near violent or anything like that. They would just want to be able to feel safe. But one, they probably know of the process to do it, and then two, where they mainly would need it at or how to go about things, they can't even have it on them. So it defeats the purpose. It's just like, man, why? And so that's why a lot of violence goes on in America, because legally, and you can look up the statistics if you want, compare the numbers with people who legally have firearms to the amount of illegal firearms that get snatched up every year. And these are the ones that they find. I bet you the number outweighs the legally drastically. You're gonna be like, wow, got these many illegal joints in the streets, but only these amount of Americans can protect themselves? Really? Come on, man. It's crazy. Like, if y'all really want change to happen and things to get better and the violence to lessen, you have to put fear in the people that's committing these things. And you can't do that by restricting the public of not having a right to bear arms. You need to have it so that they can, and that these people know that if you get out of line, it's about 5 to other 10 people that's going to knock you about your sock. Yeah. Like, commit this crime if you want. Shoot up these kids if you want. You definitely about to not make it. Matter of fact, you're not even make it just because, like, we peeped you already. And now that is one thing that I will say though, and I ended off on that too. It's like when you do possess a firearm, the biggest thing and the biggest power is having the strength and the knowledge and the courage to not pull that trigger, to not pull that gun out. That's where it really comes down to. And if you need a gun because you can't defend yourself, you know what I'm saying, with them hands, or like that's always going to be like your first instinct, then yeah, you definitely don't deserve or the need to have one, because it's not about that. Having a firearm is strictly to protect yourself and others. It's not about you being able to do damage to this person, that person, and get away with it and all of that. Or like, you can legally do this and so you're going to pull it. No. The best thing to do is kind of forget that you got that thing on you in certain situations. So nobody has to be a witness to whatever, and you don't make a fool of yourself. So if you need one for those type of reasons, hey, man or woman, stay the hell away from them things, because you're going to do more damage than the criminals that's out here doing things. You know what I'm saying? But as far as that subject, man, that's all I got. That's all I have. If you got other suggestions, or you can relate, or you know what I'm saying, you felt that some of the things that I was talking about, like, damn, that was on point, leave it in the comment section. And again, if you like the content, you like what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe, hit the follow button, the whole 9. I can probably do this full time and consider stop traveling. But man, other than that, may y'all be easy. Have a nice night. Have a safe night. And try to, you know what I'm saying, in other ways, in many ways, protect yourself. Till next time, POP. Play on, player.